Hello everybody, my name is Julia and I'm here today to do one of my timeless readings for you. This one is going to be a Crossroads spread. So this is a good spread really to look at situations where you could continue to do the same thing or you could make a change, and it will help you to look at the energy surrounding that, or where indeed you might actually even be at a real crossroads in life where you have two choices ahead of you. Should I take this job? Should I take that job? Should I have a relationship with this person? Should I not? Should I start this new project? Should I not? Should I start this new course? Should I not? There's so many times in life that we reach a place of indecision, isn't there? So before I get on, actually, I just wanted to say thank you to my new subscribers that I've received recently in the last few days. It's been lovely to see some feedback, some comments, and some new subscribers, some thumbs up. So that's brilliant. Thanks ever so much for that. That really means the world, actually, to get the feedback, particularly because I sit here doing my readings on my own, and obviously I never really know how they're perceived or felt by other people unless I get some feedback. So yeah, thank you so much for all my new subscribers, and also my new subscribers on Instagram as well, of which I've received quite a few recently. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So as I said, today I'm going to do a Crossroads spread. I'm going to draw, there'll be 13 tarot cards for that, which will look at the different directions in life that you could go and what might happen if a certain change was introduced. And I'm also going to draw a Goddess Oracle card. I felt drawn towards my Goddess cards today, so I thought perhaps there might be some energy there for people that might be relevant. So, what do you need to know relating to this reading? And we have Coventina, purification. It's time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. I think healthier living has come up so many times in the last few weeks of my readings. Let's have a quick little look at my Goddess Oracle card book, because I don't look at these cards that often, so I wouldn't be able to fully tell you who this person is or what they mean. So Coventina, she's a Celtic goddess of waters, including oceans, lakes, streams, ponds and rivers. She protects bodies of water. Wishing wells were made in her honour. So it's Coventina who grants these wishes when we throw pennies into the well. So this message from Coventina. This message comes as a help and not as an affront or a criticism. Your vessel has become clogged by the overuse of harsh chemicals and the offending sources within your psyche. You've been ignoring your many signals and screams for relief from the steady ingestion of impurities. Perhaps you've also noticed a slump in your energy level, and your degree of joy has lagged as well. Never mind these past effects though, as the solution is right at hand now. Now that you've heard this message, don't hesitate for even a moment to make new arrangements. You'll want to keep a sharp focus on the contents of your mind and speech, for the words that you speak and think are the very diet that supports or thwarts you. Choose purity, and I promise you a changed outlook for the better. So the various meanings of this card can be to follow your intuition about making lifestyle choices, to stop abusing alcohol or drugs, to avoid processed foods, to eat more organic foods, to keep your thoughts and speech positive, to go on a fast or a detox. And this card could also be a validation that what you're currently pursuing is actually a healthy path for you. So there we go. There's a lot of information there, wasn't we? There. So Coventina. I have no idea how that's going to fit in with a Crossroads reading here for you. So card number 1 will be the base card, and that is where you are now. Cards 2, 6 and 10 will be the outcome if you continue in the present situation. Cards 5, 9 and 13 will be the outcome if a change is introduced. Cards 3, 7 and 11 are influences of the recent past. And cards 4, 8 and 12 are long-term karmic influences. So, I just can't get into the flow with the shuffling today. I don't know what that's saying either. So, okay. So what do you need to know at this time in your life right now? So the base card, the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Actually, I'm going to have to just go round and do them because I won't remember if I try and tell you what each card is to start off with. Let's see if I got room on my table as well. So card 1, card 2, card 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. We have that on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the base card, where you are now, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is indeed a very, I suppose, crosswordy type, crossword. I can't shuffle today, I can't get my words out today. Not a crossword, a crossroads type of card, isn't it? The Wheel of Fortune. You could go in any direction here. It's like you're just at the hands of fate here, really. So yeah, this is a fateful time of karma, of karmic influences, of divine timing, of the Wheel of Fortune spinning, and you going along for the ride, I guess. But in which direction will you go? As I said, that's a really crossroady type of tarot card. So cards 2, 6 and 10 are the outcome if you continue in your present situation. And to be honest, I don't really know what your present situation is, because we've had the card, the Wheel of Fortune here, which is still in the hands of the gods here with the Wheel of Fortune, where you're going to end up. But what I'm going to take for my clarification is Coventina, because I think that purification, detoxification, healthier lifestyles actually is what's relevant here, is what we're being called to focus on here, is health and well-being. So I'm being drawn, I'm feeling that perhaps your lifestyle isn't the healthiest at the moment. And so I'm going to read these cards as if you're having some issues with your health, with your well-being, with your mental health, your physical health, your general well-being. I'm going to take this reading as that, as a starting point, and see where we go. So the outcome, if you continue in the present situation, we have the Star, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have the Eight of Cups. So we have wishes for things here. We have hopes and dreams for things here. We have our eye on something for the future for ourselves here. But at the moment, it's like we've turned our back really on something. We're walking away from something. We're moving away from something. There's trouble. There's challenges ahead. There are challenges in your life at the moment, I feel here. And I feel that at the moment you've kind of not taken a step forward towards dealing with those problems. It's kind of like you're sat back trying to work out how to deal with those problems at the moment. And the Star card, while it's a beautiful card, it's a card of hopes and dreams and wishes and but it's a long-term karmic card. It's not a card of anything happening immediately. It's not a card of anything happening right now. So it's almost like you're pinning all your hopes on something in the future without actually really attending to the now, if you like. And again, with the Seven of Wands here, you're not really attending to the now here. You're just kind of waiting, kind of trying to weigh it all up, trying to work out your game plan, trying to work out what you're going to do next, I guess. And I think if you continue in this current kind of mindset, I think it's possible that you might start to alienate yourself a little bit from other people, from connections in relationships. Yeah, I'll leave that for now. So cards 5, 9 and 13 is the outcome if a change is introduced. And the outcome if a change is introduced, we have the Empress, we have the Devil, and we have another 7. We have the 7 of Cups. So we've had the 7 of Wands and we have the 7 of Cups. So the outcome if a change is introduced, I think the Empress is obviously a card of creativity, of growth, of positivity, of compassion, of feminine feminine power, I guess, of being sat in your own power. But then we have the Devil card, which would imply some kind of restriction, yeah, some kind of restriction here within your relationship with yourself, I think, here more than anything. It also feels like you're having difficulty. You're having difficulty making choices. You're having difficulty getting clarity about making choices, especially choices of the heart, choices that kind of mean something to you. I'm looking at these cards, and to be honest, if we look at the cards if you were to continue in your present situation, and the cards if you were to make a change in your present situation, there's some positivity and some negativity in both of these cards. It's not immediately obvious here. I think if we're to look at the three cards here, that if you were to introduce a change, I think that the change that you're being called upon to make here is actually to make some better choices, to deal with some of the more negative traits that you might be carrying in your personality, some of the cycles and patterns that you might be repeating in your life. You know, the Devil card is often a card of addictions, and they can be addictions to people, to things, to drugs, to alcohol, to cigarettes, to obsessively worrying, codependence. It could be about your relationship with food. I think the change that's being called, I think the change that you're being called to make here is to try and get into your own energy, really, to get into your own, to find some self-love within yourself, to find the place within yourself that is enough motivation for you to tackle some of these devil energies here. Because, you know, in the Seven of Cups here, this is a card of kind of temptations, isn't it? It's like, ooh, which cup should I choose? You know, they're all full of, should I choose the one full of jewels? You know, what else have we got in here? We've got a dragon and a snake and some jewels and a sort of laurel wreath of victory. There's a castle, there's a pretty woman. I mean, it's just like, oh, you know, I don't know what to do for the best. I don't know what choice to make. There's too many temptations here, perhaps. That's thank you. That's what I've been trying to get out. There's too many temptations here, I think, in your life currently. Yeah. I think there's too many temptations, and I think at the moment those temptations feel like obstacles, they feel like challenges, and they feel like things that you're having to deal with. But I don't see you dealing with them currently. It's like there's almost a feeling like if you wished hard enough that those things would just resolve themselves and go away. But we all know really that that's not what happens, is it? That's not what happens. If we don't deal with things, they catch up with us and they bite us on the bum, don't they? That's what ends up happening. So cards 3, 7 and 11 are cards of the recent past. And here we have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Pentacles, so that's another 8. And we have the Queen of Cups. So looking at this, the influences of your recent past might be that your focus has been on things other than yourself, I think. I think your focus has been on external things to you. I think that you've put a lot of effort and energy into your physical world, into your material world. I think you've been working very hard. I think you've been trying to develop some skills and some expertise and some experience in something that's important to you. I think you've been perhaps looking after your family, some of you. You know, the Queen of Cups in her light attributes is a very family orientated woman, a very caring and compassionate feminine energy. Not necessarily saying that you're a woman, but this is a feminine energy. Perhaps the influences of the recent past I'm feeling here are that you've worked so hard, really, that you've placed all of your focus on the external to you, on things external to you, and you've kind of suffered a little bit for it. I think perhaps the Queen of Cups in her more shadow attributes can be a little bit unstable, which would certainly fit in with the need to address some of these devil energies here, and perhaps move more into a more feminine Empress type of energy, which is a bit more creative, I suppose, a bit more positive, not quite so introspective, not quite so fragile emotionally. I think that's what I'm feeling here, really, is that I think you've been quite fragile emotionally, you've been quite vulnerable. And I think you just haven't wanted to deal with that. It's like you've allowed the star energy and the wheel of life energy to just be like, well, what's going to be is going to be. I'll sit and wait and see what happens. But I can see, if you were to introduce a change into this, if you were to start to address some of the behaviours, some of the things in your life that are causing problems for you, I can see you moving into a more positive growth sort of orientated mindset here, which can only be for your higher good, really. So the last three cards we have here are the long-term karmic influences of this crossroads issue that you find yourself at. And we have the 9 of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups. Oops. And we have the King of Swords. Which I'm trying to absorb this energy, and so the long-term karmic influences of this are kind of about a need for completion, to feel content, to have what you need, to feel in control of yourself, to feel in control of your mind, to have some self-discipline. Yeah. There's a lot of energy here of Cups. We've got the 8 of Cups, we've got the 7 of Cups, we've got the Queen of Cups, we've got the 9 of Cups, we've got the 10 of Cups. So we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, and the Queen of Cups. Yeah. I think that your emotional state here has been driving the Chariot, if you know what I mean, the Chariot card in the tarot cards. I think I think that for a long time your emotional state has been in charge here. And I think your emotional state has led you perhaps to a place of excess at times, to some addictive behaviours, to some destructive cycles. Yeah, I think that's what I'm feeling here. And I think that there's been a long-term kind of desire, if you like, to get on top of your thoughts and your feelings, and to kind of get a little bit of distance from them is what I'm feeling here. It's like everything is so overly emotional here. You know, we have the Queen of Cups, we have the Empress, the 9 and 10 of Cups. Excuse me. There's a big emphasis on emotional fulfillment here, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I think it's led you to some sort of overindulgence or some kind of destructive habits in your life, is all I can say. And at the bottom of the deck, what we had that was hidden is the 9 of Swords. So we've got another 9 here. And the 9 of Swords is a waking up. It's a realization of what you've done to yourself. I think it's a little bit of a dark night of the soul. It's a realization that you need to wake up, that you need to do something differently. So yeah, I think to try and sum this reading up, I'm going to say that the Empress is a much better feminine energy for you to be in than the Queen of Cups at this time. I see the Empress as being growth orientated and positive and creative and able to care about herself. Able to care about herself, actually, I think most importantly. I see the Devil card here as being a need for you to address some of the more destructive cycles and patterns in your life, some of the addictions or addictive behaviours, some of your negative thinking patterns, to maybe address some of the more codependent or difficult relationships in your life, including the relationship with yourself, most importantly, and to not be distracted by things, to maybe rein in a little bit of your emotional excess, to try and really focus in on what you need rather than what you want, perhaps. And as I said, the Wheel of Fortune, which is what we have as your base card, as where you are now, I think that that's kind of your justification for not acting, for not doing anything, is, well, it's in the hands of the gods. I shall just see what happens. I'll just go with the flow and see what comes my way. I think if you do that, you're really, I don't see that as being a healthy option for you, to be honest. I think that that's placing far too much in the hands of hopes and wishes and dreams, rather than taking responsibility for your life and taking responsibility for yourself. Yeah. What did we have in the Goddess Guidance cards again for Coventina? Let's have a look here. Because that does all fit in very well, doesn't it, with what I was reading here. you've been ignoring your body's many signals and screams for relief by the steady ingestion of impurities. I do see that here. I do feel that here. It's like you've just kind of turned your back on yourself, if you like. But I do see, I think you've had lots of other distractions and lots of other priorities. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not sitting here in judgment. I'm not saying that you're lazy or a bad person or anything of the sort. I just think you've been busy and distracted and perhaps anxious, perhaps feeling low in your mood and perhaps feeling anxious. And one of the things that we do when we're anxious, well, when we're anxious, we will either avoid the things that trigger us, or we kind of tend to overdo and focus too much on the things that worry us. And there's a very big feeling here of avoiding things, of being distracted by other things, by things that might bring you more pleasure, but aren't necessarily in your higher good and in your best interests. So I think I've gone on enough there. As I said, the energy of health and well-being has been so strong throughout my September readings. 6 out of the 12 sun signs got a soul's journey card, which was health. And there's a very big emphasis here in this reading on health, about finding balance and harmony, making good choices, being positive, dealing with things, not allowing yourself to kind of justify or minimize your behavior, if you like. So there. As I said, that wasn't meant to be judgy or harsh at all. We're all human, we're all fallible. A lot of the behaviours that manifest in us as adults are things that we learned a long time ago, and we learnt those behaviours to protect ourselves and look after ourselves and keep ourselves safe. And as we grow up, sometimes those behaviours don't serve us anymore. And it very much feels like that's the place that we've got to here in these cards. It's like you've woken up. There's been a realisation that you need to act. You need to do something. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you for watching and good luck with that. And as I said, thank you so much to all my recent subscribers, to all my subscribers. I really appreciate all of your thumbs up, your likes, your shares, your subscribes. I love my tarot channel and I'm really enjoying bringing these readings to you. So I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.